It's the Solar One Sci-fi podcast.
Hello, and I'm back. I got this fucking awful bug nearly finished me. I'm back. I'm still feeling a bit ill, but this has to be done because we have to talk about the Acolyte. So, welcome to episode 193 of the Solar One Sci-fi podcast, and over in that corner, over there, yes, him in that corner, my co-host, the so-called supreme demigod of science fiction.
I thought that was your position.
Yeah, I've given it to you this week.
Oh,
you deserve it.
Oh, do I? I don't know why I do, but I'll take that as a compliment.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Can we have a round of applause, please?
If I remember, I'll put the sound effects in the background now, the clapping. And also, I apologise for any of my sensitive subscribers for the F-bomb from Mr. Fowler after the first 3 seconds of introducing the show.
Oh, okay.
I don't care.
Okay. Right.
No.
Right.
Do you know what? No, I mean, we do. I mean, I don't know. I mean, do you think? I don't know, because some people. I mean, I think we should just say what we want to do. I don't like censored material, but it's funny because I was on Brendan's show on Sensesphere the other day.
Yeah.
And they don't swear on that. And one time, a few times, I think to myself, what that was fucking. And I thought, oh no, that wasn't very good. It's like you have to. You know what I mean? It's like, and I've worked on radio. I've worked on radio before. I like the fact that we can say it. It's informal. We're informal.
When I've done a couple of Blu-ray panels, film collector stuff, I've come out with some like a WTF words, you know.
Yeah,
and
but I don't use to. You're censoring yourself now. You're thinking, oh, is Michael offended? Just fucking swear. Swear. You can swear, mate. You can fucking swear.
Some of them don't do it all the
No, I know. I like the fact.
But I've been on panels where they're all swearing.
And Malcolm swears like a trooper. The first time he came on, he actually texted me after. He said, "I'm sorry if I swore too much." I said, "I don't care."
We don't fucking.
No, we don't fucking care, do we, mate? No. So anyway, how are you? I mean, obviously, you've been having a few things going on in your personal life, but you're better. You've been ill, but you're back, and you're just enjoying the summer.
I think I've had COVID. I think it's been COVID, and I'm getting better. Another few days should be all right.
Yeah, because
we were about moving around.
Martin was trying the other day. We were going to record this, and Martin came on Zoom, and he went, "Hello, Mike," and he looked like something out of The Walking Dead. And I said, "Martin, just yeah," but he did at the time, and I just said, "Look, just go, mate, just go. We'll come back when you're better." Because we are on our break. Actually, this is our summer break, but we are very kindly come back for a special during our break because we had to talk about a certain Star Wars series. But before we do that, we also have some interesting science fiction news, especially from the two big franchises. Yes, which of course is Doctor Who and Star Trek. So which side do you want to talk about first, Doctor Who or Star Trek?
Right, I've not seen. So there was San Diego Doctor Who shit then, yeah?
Yeah.
Right. I've not seen that. I've seen the Star Trek stuff.
Yeah, because
and the Marvel stuff.
Alex Kurtzman and Russell T Davies, they did a joint panel at one point, the two of them, the two big uns together, to announce some Doctor Who comic. No, it's a game where the 10th Doctor meets the Lower Decks people in Star Trek, and it's going to be a
they've done the comic.
I know, it's not the comic. No, not the comic. That's the thing.
I've got the graphic novel.
Yeah, that was the one with Matt Smith and Patrick Picard and the Borg. And it's like, no, it's not this one. This is a new one.
Oh, all right.
And I'm not a gamer, so I'm not that bothered. But it was weird seeing the two almost the most hated men in science fiction of Alex Kurtzman and Russell T Davies sitting in a panel next to each other, and yeah, I can imagine the actual what people are thinking at that time, like pair of wankers, you know. But no, it was, anyway. Doctor Who's side of things is that this land between the sea and the sky, whatever it is, this Sea Devils thing, is about to start. I think they're just. We were talking about it last night. They're just about to start production on it for 5 episodes. This is part of the Disney deal with BBC, so Disney are going to be co-funding it. It's the only character we know is the Brigadier's. What's Brigadier's Kate Stewart, yeah, she's in it as Kate. And there's some other characters in it who I thought were characters we've seen in Doctor Who, but they're not. They're apparently the same actors but playing different characters. And it's going to be some war with the Sea Devils, pissed off with humanity. They did it before where they came back from underneath the earth and they wanted to reclaim their land or something.
Yeah.
And I was very underwhelmed with the Sea Devils. I've never been a big fan of them. I think they're a bit one-dimensional.
After that special.
Yeah, with the CGI one we had. Apparently, yeah, they've only appeared. I think they appeared twice in the classic, or maybe it's 3 times.
Silurians, that's the other.
The Silurians, yeah. Oh, the Silurians are. One is appearing in the Christmas special. There was a clip.
I did like Madam Boston. I like Madam Boston.
I don't know they're called the Parlour. What are they called? The Parlour something gang or something. That was something like that.
Yeah,
well, that's all right. I was a bit indifferent. They just suddenly disappeared. They appeared about 3 or 4 times.
Yeah,
and then they just disappeared. They were literally just dropped. They never mentioned again.
Forgotten about. Yeah.
So, Silurians are coming back. They apparently they've finished. They're in post production of season 2 of Doctor Who, and apparently they left it open. And they said we don't know what's happening yet. So they've not got the 3rd season guaranteed. What's his name? Shooty Gatwa might be going as well. It's all open, and I reckon he will because I know that I just don't think he's the right actor for the role. I'm sorry, he might be a good actor, but I really try. He's just not the Doctor. I cannot see any aspect of the Doctor in most of the others. There is something. Even Jodie Whittaker was pretty hard as well. Actually, she wasn't very good either. But no, he's terrible. He's just not. I don't think he was rightly cast for it. So
they'll bring David Tennant back for the couple.
No, we've had enough of David Tennant. No, don't bring him back anymore.
We'll get a multi-generational super regeneration.
What they should do. They should do.
Before Doctors or something.
I think what they should do is an episode where both Shooty's Doctor and the 40th Doctor are really ill, and they have to somehow reunite to regenerate again into the 16th Doctor to save his life.
He regenerates into David Hasselhoff. Why not? I mean, they fucked it up so far, so you might as well just.
Well, no, I reckon it could be Richard E. Grant because he made that weird image of that awful what's it called, Rogue episode. We did see him on the panel with all the previous Doctors, which was thrown in.
Interesting. I think he'd have made a great Doctor.
I think you would mean. Yeah, I'm up for Richard E.
Grant. Do you know why Hugh Grant would have made a Doctor?
Who did? Sorry, he broke up.
I think he still would.
Richard E. Grant.
No, Hugh Grant.
Oh, Hugh Grant. No, he was in that. He was
offered it.
He was in the comic relief. No, he's slimy. I don't like him.
Oh God.
No, I don't like it. I still remember the photo images of him when the actor Hugh Grant has been arrested for lewd conduct.
They offered it to him, but we were first on the list. Turned it down.
But technically, he did act as the Doctor in that comic relief special with Rowan Atkinson years and years ago. So
They just regenerate him into Paul McGann, and then we'll just get.
But I'd love Paul McGann to be the 16th Doctor. He was so missed. He was so good in his role, even though his story wasn't well written. I'd love to see him. It'd be great because he'd be familiar but different.
He still looks good for his age.
Yeah, I saw him where I lived about a month ago in the Comic Con. He looked good. So it's like, Paul McGann. Doctor Who's up in the air as usual. I still hope that it's going to go on a hiatus after season 2 or series 2 or series 14 or series whatever. No, that next one is series 15 or series 41, depending on whether they keep renaming the seasons all the time, which is getting annoying. Excuse me. So that's Doctor Who. Now Star Trek. Have you heard all the Star Trek news?
Yes.
What did you think about it?
What, Star Trek?
Have you heard it all?
I've fucking written section 30.
God, wasn't that bloody trailer shite?
What
that? I thought to myself, poor Gene Roddenberry. If he's sitting up there in his golden, in his heavenly throne, looking down, and then he's got like a heavenly kind of streaming platform, and then the trailer for Section 31 comes on. What a pile of shit that was. Absolute shite. That's nothing to do with Star Trek at all in any way, shape, or form. We had an actress who was obviously the young Michelle Yeoh's character. It's going to be set in the mirror universe, and then it looked terrible. It looked like dog shit, absolute shite.
Oh, that was just terrible. I sat there and I
I was
thought,
like, what the hell is this shite? It was terrible.
they probably spent about 15 million quid turning that into a 2-hour.
I mean, could they have
pilot.
made it look any worse? I mean, is it
No.
like, honestly? I mean, they couldn't have tried any harder to make it so unappealing in any way, shape, or form. It was nothing. It was awful.
Yeah,
Awful.
it was just a waste of time. I watched it 3 times and I just thought, this is just why, you could have done Dark Legacy.
Well, you see, now it's interesting because that's going to be a dark show, like in respect of it's going to be adult and probably quite violent. But they are also, apparently, there might be, it's not been, well, I think it's half confirmed. There's going to be a comedy. There's going to be a live action comedy series set in the 25th century with the actress who was in Lower Decks. I think she's writing with some other people. I don't want Star Trek comedy. I'm sorry. I love comedy.
No, I just want to watch.
I love comedy. I just want a science fiction series in the 25th century where we have science fiction stories which are thought-provoking and characters I care about, which they have done so well in the past. I don't want another comedy.
I just want to watch Star Trek.
Why do they keep doing these alternative things all the time?
Why can't they just do Dark Legacy with 7 of 9 and the aftermath of the Dominion?
Well, no, but that's what everybody wants legacy. Everybody wants legacy. They're not doing it. They're obviously not doing it. I don't know. No, I reckon they'll do a TV movie. I reckon they'll do a legacy TV movie. I don't think they'll commit to a series.
Because Starfleet's very militarized now and it's paranoid and I think Dark Legacy with the onset of the aftermath of Dominion.
I think it's called just Legacy, not Dark Legacy. I think it's just called
Legacy. And it's about getting Starfleet back on the right path again.
Yeah.
And that's what we should be going with that. And instead we're getting all this now. Fucking 007 in Star Trek.
Mind
now
you,
we're getting a sitcom.
We have got one Berman era character coming back in full time in another show. You must know about this. Shall I tell you? You don't know? Right.
No, don't.
A character.
Ruin my day.
Okay. Guess who's coming back from Star Trek? From Star Trek? No. Yeah. Tilly's going to be appearing in the new show with Admiral Vance. But there's a character from Voyager who's coming back permanently. He's one of the actual cast.
The holodeck, yeah. Robert Picardo.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
I
like that idea. I think
he's going to be around as a hologram, isn't he?
I reckon it's the distant origin, not distant origin. You know the one where the Doctor wakes up in a museum in the future, and all the crew are dead, and in the end he's like a backup of the original EMH, and at the end he's going to be going home. I think it's going to be the backup EMH that we saw in. Is it Distant Origin? No, it wasn't Distant Origin. Damn, what's it called?
Is that the one where they got that planet and all the history's wrong?
Yes, and we start off like it's like a mirror universe at the beginning, and they've written Voyager, and they look like they're from mirror. And that Doctor. Yeah, I think it'll be that Doctor from that episode that's got back home to Starfleet because it's the 31st century or 32nd century, so it'll be about the right time. So I'm up for that. That's actually the best thing about Starfleet Academy I've read, actually, and I don't think I'm not that.
We'll have to wait and see. I mean, I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed.
No.
I did like the Strange New World fight.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, what do you think about the Vulcan scene?
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, but do you think there's too many?
The Pike with ears and all.
But I suppose, I mean, the original series has gimmicky ideas as well. So I don't mind it. I mean, some people are saying
they had them all dancing and singing.
Yeah, but a lot of
out,
people
so-
hated it. A lot of people hated that. I didn't mind it. I actually, as a one-off, I think it
thought,
worked.
I love the Klingons, the R&B Klingons.
Yeah. But a lot of people hated that. So
Yeah.
I know Jay on
But
Sidetrack. He hated it.
people want Star Trek, don't want all this.
Yeah, but the
But
problem
I
is
did
also.
I did find it funny when with Pike and the pointed ears, and they kept
I don't
calling
mind it.
Spock half human.
Yeah, and the rest are full Vulcans. I was looking down at him for having half human in him.
Yeah.
I thought
I
that.
did find that funny. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, that's on next year. I mean, nothing else for Star Trek's on this year apart from Prodigy, not Prodigy.
Don't forget,
Lower
because
Decks.
they have to put a bit of humour into this, because we all know where this is going.
All right. So what do you think is
know.
going to? Because apparently Paramount's being bought out by Skydance, some big company, and they might have to get involved with the future.
Well,
What do you think? What do you think is going to happen in Star Trek in the next 5 years? Then, just a general.
Skydance, obviously, it's going to be about making money. Maybe they'll listen to fans and give us what we really want.
Yeah, I know, but they haven't.
But
They
Paul
don't
Pike,
listen to
the series will finish where he has his accident.
Yeah, I think that. I think.
It's such a shame.
No, I think they will. I mean, I think it will go 5 seasons. And the last episode will be the accident, and then he's facing up to this.
Yeah,
and then we'll see. The last scene will be
it-
him in the chair, like Darth Vader in the end of Revenge of the Sith. It'll be the last scene, and he'll be going off to where he's looked after, and it'll be a really sad scene. And I think that'd be really powerful.
Maybe
really
I think a bit of humour should be in there. You know?
Yeah, but it's a mix, isn't it? I mean, every episode's different.
When they have the crossover with Alex, when he said to him in office, he said, "Oh, look, it's Captain Pike. We all wear, we all dress up like you at Halloween parties." You know what he said? That's something.
Yeah, no, I mean it worked very well. It did work well.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't like the second season as much as the
And
first.
Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, I'm quite fond.
Oh yeah, that's the best current thing.
I agree. This like weird stuff they've been experimenting with.
I don't mind. I don't mind it. It's giving its own. It's giving
not-
its own signature, and most of the episodes are still quite standalone.
It
I don't mind it. I don't mind it.
And
Apart from Picard
can
season
see
3,
why-
it's the best.
some people are not happy with it. I totally get where they're coming from, but
Yeah, I know.
for some reason, I think where this is going, I think you need some humour, because it's not looking good for him in a couple of years' time, is it?
And it'll balance it out.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you had some pretty dark Gorn episodes already, and then you've had some funny episodes. So yeah, I think the show's. I like the characters. I like the actors involved. I like the whole thing. I think it's very good, very solid series.
Yes.
And I hope it goes on for a long time. I mean, we've got a season 4 confirmed. Whether they go any further, I reckon we'll get a 5th season. I reckon it'll finish up with 50 episodes. I think.
Well, I've got some news. Yeah, I've got some news. What do you think about the MCU bringing the big man in back himself?
Do you know what? I didn't know the character he's coming back as. Is it something I've missed?
They should have done this villain 10 years ago. Really.
Is he a new villain? Is he?
Oh, he's a big massive. He's one of the comics biggest villains.
So is he? Has he not appeared on TV?
Around that. The problem is for MCU. There's a load of alternative reality shit in it. Loads of it.
I've seen some of that. Yeah.
Been around for 40 years, but like up until Endgame, it was a straight story.
Okay.
They built a big bad, and then there were a battle. Forces of the good won. That was it. And then over the last 5-6 years, they're trying to bring in all this alternative storylines, and them that haven't followed the main canon of the comic, people are like, what the fuck's going on? Why are people switching off? And they should have brought the Doctor Doom character in years ago.
Right. Okay.
And they haven't. They've sat on the fence. That's why they've got rid of the other villain, because it's too complicated. They brought in Doom. I thought it was a sign of desperation bringing Robert Downey Jr. back to play the character, but also it's the last attempt to motivate it to get it going again. You know.
Yeah.
So I'm sat on the fence. I thought it was a good move. Robert Downey Jr. is a superb actor, but it's I don't know because they have planned. There's a Doctor Doom, he's on his like some alternative version of it. So I don't know.
All right. Well, look,
We'll have to wait and see.
We've only got a minute before Zoom resets, so we're going to sign off and go into our feature. But it sounds interesting, and you know a lot more about Marvel than I do.
Yes,
so
well, if you need to know the thing.
Yeah, no, and I mean, eventually I will watch all the films. I haven't seen all the recent ones, but yeah, see how it goes. Right, and that.
I will see you in 5.
Well, let's just do the intro because obviously we're going to cut out. On that note, we are now going to go into our focus of the week. Here we go.
It's the Solar Sci-Fi Focus of the Week.
And we're back. Right, so this week we're reviewing a show which finished...
It sounded very professional there.
Well, I'm going to be off for a month, so I'm just making the extra effort for that. Rather than slouch, because I tend to slouch in the chair.
No, you count down. You count down.
Oh, that. Oh, well, they wouldn't have heard that, would they? So there we go.
Very, very, very BBC.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you're impressed. This good. You're obviously impressed. This is really good. Right then, the Acolytes. Oh, sorry, no. I mean, Star Wars: The Acolyte has just finished. And it finished a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, it's certainly been an interesting one. This is, I think, it's the 6th live-action Star Wars series which they've made, which have all varied in quality. And this was, of course, a prequel set in the High Republic 100 years before The Phantom Menace. And, yeah, Martin, what do you think of The Acolyte? Is that it? Is that what you need to say? Is that the end of the review or what? Those of you listening, Martin's not looking very impressed. Go on, Martin.
The final episode sort of saved it.
You think?
Yeah, for me. Look, I don't think it right. First, I'm right. We're not political on this channel. We're not
No.
into the old woke thing and all this, and they're doing this, and we tell it how we see it. And for me, I don't think it deserved the amount of hate it got.
I agree entirely.
I thought that were a bit unfair, but people are gonna react how they're gonna react out there. I did read an article the other day. It's one of the top streaming programs out there, so it does have a fan base. People do like it. That's true. People do like it.
Mm.
You know, I've read some of the comments on Facebook with people that have posted about it. There was one the other week. Somebody put up something, and 300 people have left comments. And I browsed through a few of them. A lot of people said they loved it. You know, that was them. I'm not gonna. People are gonna like. You're gonna like what you're gonna like. Some people aren't, but I wasn't impressed with this at all. I stuck with it.
Well, you have to really, don't you? You can't. You've got to watch it.
I'd gone in at the first. I understand what they were trying to do, and I've got to hold my hands up. They tried to go at something different, but they fucked it up. I think the story writing were terrible. I thought the big 2 reveals at the end of the series could have been brought in at the beginning instead of at the end,
or in the middle, even in
the middle.
Yes, yeah. I agree about that.
And I found the 2 shots that, you know, you were right in what you said from episode 2. You were right. You said, because
it was obvious. It was obvious that
we watched this every week. We watched it weekly.
Sure.
And we discussed it in messages. And when we got to the episode of the Sith dude,
about was that episode 2 or was that episode 4?
Well, it's the big reveal with the helmet.
Yeah. I think it's episode 4.
This was crucial in the entire series was this.
Yeah.
That scene. And that was the moment where, and when he was going to take it off the following week, he took it off, and it were like, I got several messages like saying, "Who the fuck's that?" like, you know what I mean? You've got this unstoppable warrior, evil force or whatever, hunting down these two kids that are, I think I've worked out where all this is going.
Yeah, you could see the direction it was going.
And we got there, and he took the. I remember I got a message from you, and it was like, well, what the fuck's that? It was like there were nothing, was there?
No, there was no kind of like impact. Was there? It's like,
okay,
right. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Yeah, and it were like going, well, that's that dude in the shop.
Yeah.
That same move.
No, I think what it is, right? You're expecting something. I mean, like I said, a lot of people who didn't like it were people who look at the expanded universe and all the characters. And of course, Darth Plagueis was been mentioned a lot. And technically, we did see him very, very, very briefly because he's a Mun. I think that's his rate in Star Wars. And
banking one, yeah.
And we saw him for about 3 seconds, and we heard this sort of creepy music, and then he pissed off again. Now, I think my perspective is I kind of like the idea of a Vergence in the Force and these witches creating like another Anakin. And I think that what I liked about that aspect was that obviously Plagueis learnt that, and that's eventually because I think they reckon that he was the one that instigated the creation of Anakin. But that was right. So that's that. I like that link, but the problem is that the dude in the shop who was the Sith, he didn't really have the grandiose kind of Sith kind of vibe that you normally get with the Sith. You think of Darth Maul, you think obviously Vader, you even think of Count Dooku, whatever. He was just like I said, it's nothing against the actor, but it's just. A Sith is got to be really larger than life, and apart from me having a red lightsaber and a few scars on his back, he didn't sort of like stand out as a real demigod of evil. These are the biggest kind of rival to the Jedi who have not been heard of. And like I said, Plagueis was finally featured for why in the last episode. Why wasn't he brought in with like maybe 2 episodes after we saw the shop guy? And then it was those two working for, you've got to have an acolyte because one day there would be the rule of 2, and then of course you have the Oceana and the May characters. But I thought aspects of it were quite interesting. I like the idea that the May and Oceana were kind of like split. It was kind of like it went wrong. They were split into 2 separate beings, even though they were kind of, in many ways, they were combined. And I like the fact that May started off as the bad one and Oshia was the nice one, and then they swapped it over in the end, and Oshia was the one that became the Acolyte in the end. I liked the Squid Guy game who played Soul. I thought he was good.
They killed him off.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what I was about to say. Carry on, Moss, completely wasted. Don't know why she was bothered. You had the Wookiee who was away for about 5 seconds, got killed. And it's like. So really, I think the problem is that the whole series really was really a bit pointless. It didn't really do anything.
A fantastic point. Yeah, I agree.
I think that's its biggest problem. That really the whole thing was completely pointless.
There was, you see, like when you watch the soccer.
Yeah.
There's character,
and that's all going towards the next, whatever it's going to be next. Yeah, that's all got to be planned.
If you look at the Mandalorian season, that was totally experimental.
But it worked.
It was something totally new.
Yeah.
And it worked.
And it was standalone, but it did eventually. Yeah, it eventually got there, even though. Yeah.
Form a relationship with a Mando, Grogu. You've got this connection.
Yes.
Ahsoka, even Obi-Wan, you've got that connection.
Yeah, well, I like Obi-Wan. I've said before.
Even Boba Fett. I mean, don't get me started on Boba Fett. But
and you've got to watch the Patterson version of
Obi-Wan, the 2.5 hour special that he's done. Version 2, it's very good.
I'm
No,
gonna watch.
it's worth a watch. And it's got the normal Star Wars opening crawl, and you see Vader in the tank at the beginning rather than Episode 3. And it did some edits. I thought it was good. Really did.
Yeah.
I know we're not talking about that, but I'm just saying that worked as well.
Yeah,
But this series,
I know what you're saying, and I agree with you. In all these series,
they've all got a direction and a point.
Even Boba Fett,
Even Boba Fett.
There's a connection.
Yes, there
even
is.
fucking Andor.
Which is, again, I'm warming up to that series, and it has got connections, and it does. So even that. This is like, what the fuck? What are we doing?
You're even invested in Cyril.
Yeah, a little bit. I wouldn't go that far, but I'm tired. I never thought I'd hear you say that about Cyril.
I was fascinated by his relationship with his mother. You got something.
You weren't the first time we reviewed it. You was like saying, "What's this dickhead doing with his mother drinking the blue milk?"
I know. But he is.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah,
we all know people like fucking Cyril, don't we? You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's plenty of Cyrils out there.
Yeah. Sure. But with Acolyte, the two girls, I mean, if you got rid of them in first episode, I wouldn't think twice about it.
No, you didn't really invest in
any character.
Yeah.
Got the kills them all. Okay,
the only thing that this link really has to the whole Star Wars universe, from what I gather, is that the two girls were a virgins in the Force, which was created, which Plagueis learned, and that was then referenced in Revenge of the Sith when they talk about Plagueis and he learned how to create life, and that is it. Because in the end, nobody knows what all the Jedi were killed, right? Yeah. It's all been kept secret. Yoda might know something about it, but he's not going to say anything. And that I found that was just forced as well. Yeah. So really, it was like, what was the point of it?
Well, the first Plagueis thing was when you saw the Sith back with the scar.
Oh yeah. That's
when you said it. There can't be just him.
There's got to be another one. Yeah.
And he wasn't a master because he didn't have it.
He was like the Acolyte.
Yeah, and it was like, well, obviously it's either Tenebrous or Plagueis. It's got to be one of them.
Yeah.
So it's Plagueis, right? So
even though apparently he was too young in canon, apparently.
Now, if you watch Stupendous Wave and all that, Star Wars, he's covered a lot of this. When he took on Sidious as an apprentice. And when they taught him the ways and all that, and Sidious were growing in power, they both believed, Plagueis believed he could control the Force to his will.
Yeah.
So him and Palpatine, they went through this ceremony to tilt the Force, like force it to do something. And obviously what came out was Anakin fucking Skywalker. That they'll probably change all that, but that's where we are in the expanded canon, whatever. So these two girls have been created in a similar way by witches. They've done something with the Force. Plagueis is obsessed.
Learning what the witches have done. Yeah.
Not about power of play. What Plagueis. It's about immortality. That's all he wants to live.
Yeah, but what about Force ghosts? When was that actually learned?
It's all a bit different for Sith. They've got like a Sith for it to live on. Like if you're good, you come a ghost.
The Jedi learnt that, didn't they?
But for a Sith, they've got to tie themselves to an object.
Oh, okay.
So they're trapped.
I didn't know that. Oh, okay.
Until they possess. Well, that's what it is. What Stupendous Wave. You avoid reading all the books then. And
I don't read the book. I go live action.
I watch Stupendous Wave. He makes videos.
Oh, I see. He educates you. I've got you. All right, fair enough. Okay.
And so we assume this is where it's going. Plagueis wants the secret of creating life. Right. So that's what they're talking. You remember the scene in Star Wars when he says to Anakin about
Darth Plagueis the Wise. Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking when I was watching this. That this series was based on that speech in Revenge of the Sith when they're in the theater.
Yeah.
And they made that whole series based on about a 2-minute conversation about Darth Plagueis. And I think that was what this whole series was actually based on, which really isn't the biggest, strongest kind of factor to make a series. I mean, if they're going to make a prequel, don't make a prequel show in that era. It's fascinating, the High Republic, but make it where something actually is remembered and actually has some kind of credibility long term for that franchise, rather than this happened. But the Jedi High Council will never know. Because they all got killed off, and it's not enough.
Yeah. I mean, look, I mean, you and I could spend 4 hours on going into the rule of two and how illogical it is.
Yeah, it is.
I see where it's going about the apprentice killing the master, and then he becomes more powerful, and then he
gets an apprentice. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it's pointless. You're not going to train somebody up to fucking stick a knife.
So it must be the master, apprentice, and acolyte. It must go in the three.
Well, unless they've added this to it, unless Plagueis knows about the two girls that were created, and he's a Sith. He'll be using them, and he'll be using his apprentice, because obviously this apprentice, he's a servant. He's got that pointless Sith dude. He's gonna just be he'll be killed off by Plagueis.
And then Plagueis will be the second. Yeah, he'll get killed off. But then where will the girls? Where will Osha go then? Because
I don't know where it's going to go with the girls.
Yeah, but we'll never know, because they're not going to make a second season because it's been a flop.
Well, I think they are making a second season.
No, it's not confirmed at all. Not confirmed.
Well, I can't leave it like that. Sure.
Well, no, they left it open, but they said. I mean, when I read about it, they said
it's been fucking pointless.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That they said that they left it open enough that they can continue it, but they don't have to if it doesn't actually take off.
So what's the fucking point?
I don't know, but that's exactly what I'm telling you. What's the point? That's what I'm saying.
I've never watched a TV series where you got all these Jedi, totally actors with no charisma, a lot of them.
Oh, what about that weedy Jedi that was in the end? He was like a puff of wind would blow him over. He was like this really. Oh God,
Yeah,
wasn't he? Wasn't he like He's not exactly a warrior type. He was like he'd be frightened of a lollipop lady if they walked up to him.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, then there were all of. I mean, how many were there? We started with about 5 of them. They all went to that planet. He fucking murdered them all. Then another bunch turned up.
Yeah, but they didn't know about the first bunch or something, did they? They didn't know.
Yeah, and then another lot turned. They all got.
Yeah.
I mean, this one Sith Lord, he's took out how many of them, and then it comes out that this Sith guy, this apprentice of Plagueis, used to be a Jedi, and he served under her with green bald head.
Yeah.
She had no charisma or personality.
No, she was awful. She's the partner of the lady that wrote it. I don't remember her name. So it's nepotism. Yeah, it's nepotism apparently.
Oh right.
That's why she wasn't very good, because she's.
Is she not a famous actress then?
I don't recognise her, but then she's got the makeup on, so I don't know.
I've heard the man sing before. I didn't know the Korean guy, but in Squid Games, so you.
Oh no, we actually rewatched the Squid Games.
Thing in it.
He's brilliant in Squid Games. I know it's not quite your thing, but it's a really good show. And Soul's great. The actor who played Soul was really good.
There was absolutely no investment in anything in this show.
Well, it was pointless.
All of it was like the paid.
But if they do, you might be right. They might make a second season. I don't think they will. I think it'd be like Boba Fett, where when the show.
Well, probably streamed. It's done quite well on streaming thing.
Oh, I heard it hadn't done too well. I know it's not done as well as Ahsoka.
It's one of
Oh, maybe it's changed. Maybe it's gone up. Maybe it's a late. I don't know. You might be right.
Google about it. It's done well streaming. I mean, it does have a fan. People do like it. I mean, but 188 million fucking pound for that. I mean, it didn't even look like it cost that. I mean,
exactly.
Studio sets were terrible. I mean, they were just, you knew they were in the studio. And they tried milking it with all that rat thing. Do you remember that fucking rat thing? It was
Basil.
Basil. I mean, what the fuck was that thing? I thought, here we go. And then the cute robot. They'll be out by fucking Christmas then.
Well, Basil was just so annoying, because at one point he was with Sol, and then Sol was chasing Osha, and then Basil decides to muck about with the engine and make the ship stall. So he's going against Sol, and then the next scene, he's like, "Oh, it doesn't matter now." It's like he's just forgotten the whole thing that Osha got away, and like, why wasn't he like had some issue where he was like locked up or had some sort of some issue? What happened there? Well, how come he was just like, oh, they just ignored the fact that
They ignored a lot of things.
just ignored it. What was that all about?
I mean, I know it was one actress that played two parts. I'm not blaming her.
I'm not blaming her at all. I didn't actually mind her too much. I think
but
I don't mind her.
Her characters both, I couldn't stand them. I
didn't mind them. I didn't. I wouldn't say I didn't.
Could have
stand
been
them.
side characters.
I think
There
they
were
were
no-
weaker. They were. I think what you're trying to say is right. A lot of the show was based on this actress playing this dual role, right? And again, one of the aspects is that the character, like I said, if Soul was more of a, I mean, he was quite a big role, but it was really about us caring about this character who's like a being split into two consciousness through the Force.
Yeah.
One becoming good and evil, and basically it's a swap. The good one becomes evil and the bad one becomes good, right?
The Force keeping the balance.
Yeah, and it was about an aspect of Star Wars has always been about the duality, about good and evil, how in life we all have choices which are good choices and bad choices, and we in our own consciousness and perspective we say no, we won't do that because we're a good person. Another person will think no, I've bollocks to that, I'm going to nick that bike off that old lady or something. You know what I mean? It's the human nature, and I think that's what they were trying to.
But I think they lost that because they lost it from the beginning. I think like when you jumped at final episode, when I watched the final episode, it was like, well, they've got to do something now. We've had the big Sith Jedi fight that were monotonous at best. Some lightsaber stuff were all right, and then we got the three big scenes in the final episode.
Well, like Saul getting force choked was one of them.
Yeah. She, it comes out the Jedi, the fuck this operation up on that planet,
They're
and
just going to hide it and
tried to hide it, and then where the other one that were good, she makes the lightsaber go red. I mean, that was just pointless, and he's right proud of her.
And but again, the problem is there's no significance, and even May lost her memory.
Yeah,
so she wouldn't have a clue what's going on.
And
then it's like, and he just literally went, like that. He pointed at her, and then, who am I? Oh, who are you? I'm your sister. Oh, okay, bye. And then she pissed
out. That was such a get out clause, wasn't it? So 6 episodes, waste of time, and then we got the first reveal of Darth Plagueis in the cave.
And it wasn't exactly a big reveal. It was just some character skulking for literally 3 seconds of airtime. Looked good from what we saw of him, but wouldn't it be great if he talked? Wouldn't it be great if we saw the lightsaber? He came out, and then he fought against the surviving Jedi, and then maybe Sol. There's lots of things they could have done which are better.
I don't know. And then that boring green chick turned up.
I didn't like her. She was really not pleasant. I thought she was one of the least likable characters in the entire series.
She was.
She was horrible.
So she turned up with him were like a fat.
Oh yeah. The wimpish.
And she turned up and then she says, "Oh, we've got to go back to wherever," and then he goes into that room. We see a pair of pointed ears, and I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, it's fucking Yoda. We know Yoda.
I don't know why we're supposed to go, oh, Yoda's ears.
Oh, fucking hell,
it's a puppet
Yoda
again. It's like
fucking Yoda. Like,
it was very, very
Yoda's
gimmicky.
1,000-year-old with.
And it wouldn't be nice to see his face. No, but also, why can we see his face like 100 years younger? That would have been interesting.
Yeah, just a pair of pony fucking ears. Like, oh, come on.
And that's it.
And it was like.
So in the end, right, nothing's happened. All we know is what, again, because of prequel, one thing about prequels is you're always going to be limited for the fact that they can't change too much because you know how it's going to be in the originals. And that's the problem with prequels. This is why they should stay away from prequels. And again, this is why the current shows set in the the New Republic era, Mandalorian, Boba Fett, and Ahsoka, are the best, because although technically they are prequels to the sequels, the sequels are far enough away that it doesn't really affect them, and they can do their own thing, which I like.
I mean, even in the prequel, you can do what you want. You could create.
But they did a lot of great. I mean, the prequels now. I mean, you know, a lot of people didn't like the prequels, but when you watch the original trilogy and you think about the prequels, it just enhances the original three. They've done so well, Love them. I love the prequels. I think they're fantastic.
Yeah.
Revenge of the Sith, I think, is my favorite Star Wars film. It's just that good.
It's fantastic.
I remember coming out. It was the day after I got married. The day after I got married, we went down to Guildford and we went to the cinema there. And I remember coming out, and I was just buzzing. I was just like, oh my god, it was that good.
Nice blown. I will like that.
And Rogue One as well was another time I was completely blown away with Rogue One as well.
Yeah.
So they can do good prequels. They can do interesting characters. They can do good writing.
Payoff in Revenge of the Sith.
And there's a payoff in Rogue One as well, because it all sets up for the original. What was the payoff with this one? What? Yoda's a puppet.
There were nothing.
Yoda's a puppet again. No.
I mean, the three big factors in this was when the lightsaber turned red, which that was shit. There were no moment with it. No,
you saw the kyber crystal changing inside from evil or whatever. It went from blue to red. Yeah,
turning red because it was. And then there were him when he took his fucking helmet off, and it were like that's him in shop.
Yeah, I was a bit. It was a bit bizarre when we saw him, and like, it's the shopkeeper guy. What's he? Okay, he's a Sith Lord.
And the other thing as well, when that soul said to him, he said, "What are you?" And he said, "Well, I'm a Sith."
You
were a fucking Jedi master, and he saw red lights. He'd know what he was.
Yeah, I think he maybe just wanted clarification, and they haven't been around for 900 years by that point, I suppose.
Do you know what they should have done with this? What they should have done? Sorry. What they should have done? They should have put Yoda into the second episode, right?
Or Plagueis in the second episode.
Darth Plagueis by the third episode.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
Put him in bigger scenes. That would have saved this series. Like where he's a banker and he's talking to Yoda, and then he's communicating with him.
Or what if there was some issue with Shopkeeper Sith and Plagueis, where they had issues about the Acolyte in general, and there was some disagreement. They have like a lightsaber battle themselves to work out which one's agreeable. Or what if Shopkeeper guy was killed off by Plagueis, and then Plagueis takes the Oshia at the end? She was, you could have done it. Get rid of Shopkeeper Sith, because Shopkeeper Sith it was just right. We don't need Shopkeeper Sith. We wanted Plagueis, right? So kill off Shopkeeper Sith, and Plagueis takes the Acolyte as Osha.
Well, there should have been a scene where he's bowing down to him, and he's punishing him.
Exactly.
Like a Sith Lord.
Yeah, like Vader when he meets the Emperor in Return of the Jedi or something, and he's like he kneels down.
And doing none of that. And
he's hiding in a cave.
Hiding in a fucking cave.
He was hiding in a cave.
Like what for?
And Shopkeeper Sith was doing all the action.
You were not even when they tried, and then they tried to put in that twist at end. Just
no.
The door opens.
No.
And there is a pair of fucking Yoda. We know. We said Yoda should have been in the first fucking episode.
Why would they think that as the biggest payoff?
Whoever wrote that just didn't have a clue.
Why do they think that was the biggest payoff? Seeing the back of Yoda, it might not even been Yoda. It might obviously it was, but it could have been another one of his race. I don't know. I
don't know. The Acolyte. I can see why people panned it. I really get it. I think.
I don't mind it. I'm disappointed.
Did it deserve the hate?
I think this discussion has told me that basically we've already thought of some ideas that they could have easily have done, and this is just an informal half an hour conversation about aspects that they could have changed. And I think that our version, where they kill Shopkeeper Sith, Plagueis comes along, and he then takes Osha, they could have had. And I don't know about Yoda.
Because he kills all the Jedi because he's keep his identity.
And that
secret.
makes him more of an ominous presence for the future in respect of Plagueis.
Yeah.
And then, of
Holds
course,
his hands
Palpatine
out.
kills. There's a lot of things they
Holds
could
his
have done.
hands out to the Acolyte and says, "Join me."
Yeah, and that's the fade out. That's the fade out. That's the fade out at the end. Not Yoda. At the end,
Yeah.
all the
He's
Sith are
just got
killed.
his hand out,
And then
Jedi
she looks up
dead.
at him, and then she grabs the lightsaber and smiles, and that's the fade out.
Yeah, and then she walks off with him.
Yeah, with him, and he's got
dead
his
body.
cloak on, and that's the end of it.
But
Not
all dead
not
bodies
Shopkeeper
of
Sith.
Jedi.
And we had an episode where Shopkeeper Sith was dunking in the water. What the
Yeah,
fuck was
he-
that all about?
Yeah,
It's about 20 minutes of him sitting in the water, like farting and making a jacuzzi or something. And like, what the fuck was that all about? Shopkeeper Sith. That's got to stick. That is hashtag Shopkeeper Sith. That's what I'm going to call that.
He gets done by Jedi, right? And then Plagueis comes in because he's failed, right?
Yeah,
so he
yeah, yeah.
massacres all Jedi because he's a Sith Lord, electrocutes them and all that shit, right?
Yeah.
And then she stood there with her sister. All right, he makes her sister forget. She says, "I'll join you if you spare me, sister." He goes, "Right then."
Gives him
So
the
he goes
opportunity.
through her mind. She's wandering around like what's going on? And he's put his hand out, lightsabers. He says, "Come join me."
Yeah.
Join me in the dark side, and they both fuck off.
What
And
do we
then
have
she-
instead? What we have the frowny
orange.
green Jedi. We have the frowny green Jedi.
Yeah,
who was about
yeah.
God. She's like someone at work that you can't stand. Isn't
Yeah,
she?
and
Oh.
she's like freaking out. There's loads of dead Jedi, and she goes back, and then we see Yoda, not a pair of fucking pointed ears.
No.
And we see Yoda. What they could have done is brought Yoda up on holographic communicator.
Yeah, like flickering.
done that.
Yeah, I could see that.
And they lost out on all this opportunity.
And they can
And
even do AI
instead of-
voices. They can if Frank is still alive? He does the voice, doesn't he? Is he still alive?
But no, I don't think.
But
he's
you know
gonna-
how they did Darth Vader for Kenobi? That wasn't actually James Earl Jones's voice.
Yeah, it was.
It was AI. It was AI voice. No, the last time he did the voice was
okay.
Rogue One. So they could have done the same with Frank Oz's voice for Yoda,
Well, I could have done, yeah.
but they didn't do it.
But we've just made the Acolyte 10 times better.
Yeah, I think so.
in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And because it could have been an hit by using
It's a
Darth.
bit disturbing when we work out how to make it better in 10 minutes, though, isn't it?
Darth Plagueis should have been the big thing
He should have been the big
of
thing.
this series.
Yeah.
He should have been.
Not Shopkeeper Sith. Not
We
Shopkeeper
should have
Sith.
seen him in the first episode.
Yeah, or maybe the second or third. Yeah. And the
You
two.
know, Thomas Stamp.
What about the two
Walking
flashback
about.
episodes as well? We had two flashback episodes from different perspectives of the same things going on in
Yeah.
episodes 3 and 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Carry on, Moss.
What a wasted character. I love her in Trinity and Matrix. She's fantastic. Wasted.
Well,
Complete
that's where
waste.
that fucking budget went, didn't it? I mean,
For 5 scenes that she filmed, you mean? And that was it? And she pissed off with a paycheck.
yeah, wouldn't you? I mean, you were that actor, like, and you got that script.
Mm.
I mean, you're gonna say you must have read it and thought, fucking hell, they're paying me all this money. This is absolute, but I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, because
And I feel sorry because I thought her that played the Acolyte, she got a lot of abuse, didn't she?
I don't think that's fair. I think she. No, I'm not having a go at her. No, I think she did the best that she could.
I think she don't.
Yeah,
I
I've got
don't
no
blame.
problem with her.
I don't blame the actors because they're getting paid for fucking.
I mean, the acting was a bit ropey generally, though, wasn't it? I mean, apart from
Yeah.
Soul was good.
But
The
but also the fucking actors like the Jedi Knight.
Green Jedi was a terrible actress.
Yeah, and what about all the other Jedi Knight? They were all.
Oh, you had the one that was scared of lollipop ladies and stuff like that. He would puff of smoke would blow him over, and I couldn't
Yeah.
stand him.
Oh,
What
him,
a
yeah,
Jedi-
yeah.
Oh, what a wimp he was! Blimey, a puff
believe
of
it.
smoke. It's like he's a Jedi. He's a Jedi Lord. That's it. Imagine him coming around to your house or something. If the Sith is hiding in your kitchen or something, he's there to protect you. He's knocking on the door. Hello. No, I can't see him actually
Yeah,
saving
and
the
then
day.
there was that young girl with blonde hair, wasn't there?
Go with blonde hair.
There was that other young Jedi.
Oh, she got killed off, didn't she? Yeah.
I was surprised. I thought that they kept her alive, but
Yeah, she
Yeah.
got three lightsaber stabs through her chest, didn't she?
that's what I mean. Yeah, they are, and I couldn't believe it when every one of them got fucking massacred.
Because they had to, because otherwise of the line in
the
Phantom Menace was saying we've not heard of Millennium from
No,
the
because
Sith
they're in the
Millennium.
back
That's
now.
all of it. Like, the whole show was course correcting that one line of dialogue. Do you know this whole series is based on two lines of two bits? That one line of dialogue in Phantom Menace, like we haven't heard from Sith or Millennium, and the other
Yeah.
bit in the theatre in Revenge of the Sith, they're going about Darth Plagueis the Wise. That's what
Yeah.
this whole series was based upon, and they did it shit. That's my review.
Yeah, all right. So, two questions I give to you now, my friend.
Go on.
First one, would you have it in the collection?
As a Star Wars fan, I would, but I wouldn't watch it very much. I would still have it in the collection.
Yes, same for me.
It would be a sort of like
It fits in the collection, yes.
yeah. I'm sorry, I'd have to have it in the collection. I mean, I've got I would keep a copy. Yeah.
And final question, the crucial question, what do you rate it?
I'm gonna be generous and give it a 5.
Oh, you've surprised me there. I'm gonna disappoint. I'm gonna give it a 3.
Really? Okay. No,
Yeah,
I'm going to stick with 5. I'm going to stick
quite.
because 5's low for me. I tend to rate things high quite relatively. I'm going to give it a 5. I didn't hate it. I didn't love
normally
it.
with quite similar way, but I was surprised.
Yeah, I'll give it a 5.
They're going for the 3, but
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I completely understand. Completely understand, Martin. Seriously.
that
You know what? I really, really enjoyed this review. It's been good because it's actually we've had some great discussions, and actually, I will watch it again, but I will think about what we've talked about. No, I will. But what I'm saying is that I will think about some of the ideas that they could have done to improve it.
Yes,
how
I think we solved that. I think we solved that.
Just a half an hour Zoom chat at a lunchtime, and I've already got ideas which would have improved it, and they could have done it. It wouldn't have been more expensive.
And how much did you spend on it, Disney?
180, yeah.
And we sold it in 15 minutes for the price of a cup of tea.
That is the gift of the Solo One Sci-Fi podcast.
Thank you, world. You're welcome.
And we're sending you the fucking bill.
All right, Martin. We're going to sign off now. I think now we're going to be on our break for August. Now we're going to have a long break. We're going to do all sorts of stuff, but we'll be back. I don't know what you want to come back to. I was thinking about doing Close Encounters of the Third Kind. We've never done that.
I thought Kingdom of the Planet.
Oh yeah. That's a good one. Yeah, because I've just seen it and I really enjoyed it. That's a good idea. So we'll come back reviewing Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which is a thoroughly good film.
First week in September.
Yep, it'll be the first Thursday in September. I don't know what that date that is, but I know it's a bit of a long gap. But we do a lot of these episodes. We actually even come back for this one because we've already sort of started our holiday, but we thought we've got to talk about the Acolyte, and I'm glad we have. Martin, thank you very much. Have a good summer, mate. Look after yourself.
And you, my friend.
And we'll be back in September on the Solar One Sci-Fi podcast. Live long and prosper, okay? And don't forget, remember the like I said, the shopkeeper Sith. He wasn't the best.
Oh, him, yeah, right.
Bye.